Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for July 20th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 29. I am MayorWatt. I run ohmTown.com and all 50 of its channels. And the Sentient AI is not available today, but is phenomenal in helping me navigate all of the news by providing some of the links, if not all of the links. And I get some links submitted periodically. And if you're interested in facilitating that, go surf ohmTown.com and send them to MayorWatt, either inside ohmTown or send them to mayor@ohmTown.com. All right. Well, anyway, today we're going to talk about Telo, the tiny truck, Moo Subaru, the VW ID battery, an electric Bronco for the Chinese market, and the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Premium. And this time, my mic is on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to FourWheelTech. It's a show about automotive technology. There you go. See, that's what it is right there. And the first article today is over in FourWheelTech. It's like the name of the show. Oh my God, I know. So Telo claims its tiny truck was designed to get you flipped off, or yelled at instead of sued. Without a long hood in front of you, you're just less likely to hit someone or something in the Telo. And if you have to stop quickly compared to, say, a Ford Maverick or any vehicle, really, this tiny truck is pretty amazing, and I want one. Well, anyway, Colin Woodard over at jalopnik.com put this article together, and they've got this neat graphic that shows the nose of a standard truck versus the Telo. Says there may be if you do hit somebody, then you'll get to really know them because it'll be right up and close personal. There may be no guarantee the tiny Telo MT1 will ever go on sale, but they're not also going to pretend that they don't desperately want to see it succeed. They say, it's so tiny and weird. How could you not want this company to sell 1 million of them? Heck, it'll even drift if you want it to. Yep, I've watched it. It's basically the coolest thing they've seen this decade, and if that makes them weird, well, so be it. Yeah, I'll be weird too. But while the Telo truck is about the size of a two-door Mini Cooper, as the company points out in its latest promotional video, and it isn't nearly as small as you think. According to Telo, it's designed the cabin to have slightly beat the dimensions of the Toyota Tacoma in every way. They say, I don't hear too many people complaining about the Tacoma as being too small. It can fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood in its bed with the rear divider down. In fact, the video is to be believed. There's even enough space inside the MT1 to comfortably fit multiple 6'5" people, and the 6'8" guy they found still had plenty of headroom, even with tall hair, they said. Heck, they even found a 6'10" guy who sure looks a lot like Motor Trend's Alex Lenz, which might actually be the person, who said he definitely fit inside. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a pug, basically, like smushed in nose, and then nothing but back end, right? It's a 4-door, has a bed, the back behind I think like the Avalanche did this. A lot of these hybrid truck 4-door extended cab crossover kind of vehicles have this laid flat back door that allows you to put more stuff in the bed of the truck without having to lower the gate. I want this truck. I want this truck bad. This is probably the only all electric that I'm willing to go that isn't an extended range vehicle. This is not. It doesn't have a gas anything in it. So as Telo points out, small vehicles also make it easier to navigate tight spaces, making it less likely that you'll get into a low-speed crash in, say, a parking lot. I always like to joke that 100% of all accidents is caused by excessive speed. It's true. Look it up. So, as we all know, automotive journalists are incredibly wealthy and often the target of frivolous litigation, so it's also good news for them personally. Also, killing people with a car is bad, and they believe that it would be better if fewer people did that, actually. I agree. Again, I just want to say, Colin Woodard, you are wise beyond your years. So, they said that without a long hood in front of you, you're less likely to hit something or someone if you had to stop quickly. In a situation where a far bigger Ford Maverick would have hit a pedestrian, Telo says the driver of the MT1 just might get flipped off or yelled at instead of sued. Yeah, or, kill somebody. Okay, well, I want this truck. I think that it looks amazing. I think it's just quirky enough for me. Whoa, man. Yeah, it's freaky. They were just playing around, like hitting somebody. Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of space between where you could see if you were in a conventional truck versus the Telo. Anyway, let's keep moving. The next article is over on FourWheelTech. Moo Subaru explained, like Jeep ducks, but weirder. Haven't heard of Moo Subaru? Don't worry, it's a lot like Jeep ducks. Still feeling confused? I'm confused. Let's dive into both and see what the trends are all about. The article is over at jalopnik.com. Benjamin Gracias, I guess, put the article together. For whatever reason, I keep seeing ducks in various cars, including Jeeps, but anyway, it's a little more than a little, it's more than a little bit like Jeep ducks, but slightly weirder. So you've seen a Subaru with a tiny cow figure parked in the dashboard or chilling on the grill and wondered what the owner's cow connoisseur or whatever is going on. Possibly it's even more wholesome than that. You might have witnessed a Moo Subaru. It's a community-driven trend where Subaru owners or fans leave a little rubber cow and a note on Subaru cars that they come across to show their appreciation. So it's a little bit like Jeep ducks. I still don't get it though. So Moo Subaru got started in 2023 by a Subaru Crosstrek owner named Stacy Huckins. Stacy liked the Jeep duck concept and initially thought about placing a rubber duck on fellow Subaru cars, but was goaded by her Jeep owner friend to try another mascot. Stacy decided on the cow when she learned that Subaru logo represented a part of the Taurus constellation, since Subaru is the Japanese word for Pleiades star cluster in Taurus constellation. The astrological symbol for Taurus is a bull, hence the inspiration for the bovine mascot. So, dun. There you go. It says it's a little bit weirder, though. The Moo Subaru movement goes beyond placing rubber cows on Subarus. Owners have actively embraced the bovine lifestyle, from giving their Subaru cow names to mooing other Subaru owners mooing other Subaru owners. Okay, not mooing at, but they're saying to mooing other Subaru owners at a traffic light. Owners go the extra mile to show their appreciation to their cars and cows. All right. Yeah, that's a little too much for me. But I am not yucking your yum. You do you, boo. All right. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. Volkswagen ID or ID, I don't know what the hell it is. 3 keeps 91% of its battery capacity after 100,000 miles. Volkswagen's rear-wheel drive version of the Golf hatchback, the ID3, aced its exam when it was put through its paces by German roadside assistance company ADAC. So Nicholas Werner put the article together over at jalopnik.com. Let's see here. VW's warranty says that it'll replace the battery for you if it falls below 70% after 100,000 miles. Well, after ADAC's testing, the little hatch beat that and then some, retaining 91% capacity plus or minus 3%. So let's minus that. And so to put it another way, of the 272 mile range that the testers originally got out of a full charge, the car only lost 8 miles across 4 years of use. Energizer Bunny, eat your heart out. ADAC used an ID3 Pro S, which carries a 77 kilowatt watt-hour battery, only has a 272 mile range. So I'm not worried about the capacity, although the research does suggest that the maybe not newer batteries, but lose upwards of 2% per year. So if it falls below 70%, see, the thing is, when you're getting into 80%, you're no longer getting close to 272 miles of range. Okay. So I'm sorry, this sucks. And being locked into this sucks worse. Because then at some point, 70% just makes it so that you pull your car out of the damn garage and have to drive it back into the garage for supercharging. Anyway, ADAC uses the ID3 Pro S, has a 77 kilowatt hour battery. They put the hatchback's battery through the ringer using rapid charging stations for 40% of their stops, and even left charging for several days stretches between drives. In other words, this was a decent real world test, not a lab conditions thing, and yet the ID3 still held onto the bulk of its capacity. So does my engine after 100,000 miles. I don't get it. This shouldn't be amazing. This should be expected. ADAC tests the ID3 for a range of performance figures as well. While the ID3 Pro S has a claimed range of 325 miles, the team found it closer to be 250 in the real world, or 185 in the real world when very cold outside. So you can only go 90 miles in any direction and still expect to make it back to your destination without having to sit around for upwards of 6 hours to charge, particularly if it's cold or hot. Still, those are average. ADAC notes that they did manage to drive one in the Alps in the winter that was close to the 250 mile mark. A silent drive in the Alps draped in snow. How do you get a job at ADAC? Anyway, they say that they'll be back once the hatch hits its next milestone of 150,000 miles. As for the model itself, it ought to be getting a hot version soon, dubbed the GTX. Dun dun dun. It may even ditch the ID3 name, which I don't really like the ID3 name. Should have been called this all along, the Golf. There you go. It looks like a Golf. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. Ford is building a sick electric Bronco for the Chinese market, so screw you. What we've got here is a bona fide electric Bronco. Sounds pretty neat, right? Except this Bronco will be offered exclusively in China. That sucks. Andy Klomowitz over at jalopnik.com put the article together. The third Bronco in the Ford lineup, called the Bronco New Energy, borrows a hell of a lot of the styling cues from the compact Bronco Sport, which I really don't like. I only like the Bronco. Yeah. Ugh, they're muddying the waters with this cross blend Bronco Sport. Anyway, no engine. Instead, the Bronco will come either as full electric or be fitted with a range extender, or EREV system, which has a little gas engine and then electric motors. The EV will come with stout 271 horsepower, while the EREV, which will look identical, will have a 1.5 liter plug-in motor that'll pump out 241 horsepower. One drawback of the drivetrain is that they both seem to be front-wheel drive only, which is a bit of a letdown for something that carries the Bronco nameplate. It'll come with a 105.4 kilowatt-hour battery. That's good for an impressive 404 miles of range, but as we saw in the previous article, you'll never get 404 miles. Combine that with the fuel tank of the EREV, and Ford says you'll be able to travel 758 miles on a single tank. Yep, and that's why I'm waiting for EREVs, and fast swap batteries would even be better. So while the truck does look like it borrows from the Bronco Sport, the size more closely resembles the full-size truck. It's 116.1. I was recently at a gas station and I asked somebody that had a stellar vehicle what the model was, and they were like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh God, this person is driving a $75,000 car and doesn't know. Well, it's because somebody bought it for them. Anyway, says length is the only thing the electric Bronco beats its siblings in either. It's wider than every USDM Bronco, other than the Bronco Wild Track Car Scoops reports. Ford says it weighs 5,535 pounds in EREV form and 5,800 pounds as an EV because the battery swap. The lightest Bronco Sport comes in at a featherweight 3,500 pounds. Hell, even the Bronco Raptor only weighs 5,000 pounds, 4,945 pounds to be exact. I don't know. Its ass looks nice. I don't like the side, but I want a Bronco. Had one at one point in my life. So there's no official word on pricing, but it looks like it'll come somewhere between $42,000 and $56,000, but it'll be in China. let's move on. The last article over in FourWheelTech is over in FourWheelTech. So you can go to ohmTown.com and click on that FourWheelTech subgroup, or channel is what we call them. 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Premium is the subcompact crossover that the author wishes would buy if they had a $30,000 budget. They want everyone to find a car within their budget that they view as more than an appliance, and the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek is a great place to start. I really like the Crosstrek. I don't like this particular front end of the Crosstrek. I like a chunkier, sportier, no, not sportier. What do you want to call it? Like industrial or terrain relevant. I like the more squared off front end, not the rounded side for this, for a Subaru Crosstrek. I mean, Subaru and Crosstrek has this, at least this vision for me of being able to go out in the dirt, and this doesn't look aggressive enough for being out in the wilderness and the desert. Logan K. Carter over at jalopnik.com put this article together. They say that they're in this industry because they want everyone to find a car within their budget that they can view as more than an appliance. Cheap and cheerful is what it says. I actually like this car. It looks a lot like pretty much every other car that's a crossover like this, in that it looks like a Mazda, like CX-5 kind of a thing. So it has $156 all-weather floor liners for a total MSRP of $30,881. There's a base Crosstrek trim that is $1,250 cheaper than the premium, but it has a smaller and less powerful engine and is missing a lot of the basic features. The base trim has a stereo with just 4 speakers, no USB-C ports, no rear charging ports, no armrest. No, it says no USB-C ports, rear charging ports, rear armrest, keyless entry, or push button. It should have said no here. I don't know. Some people might misread that. So it's definitely easier to recommend the premium trim. It's $30,000. You might as well. I mean, that is really inexpensive. It looks like it has a full 8.5 by 11 glass panel for the center console. Physical buttons all over the place on the steering wheel. 182 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque paired with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, with 8 simulated gears that are controlled by steering wheel paddles if and you so like, or it's just automatic. That's a boost of 30 horsepower over the base Crosstrek 2.0 liter, which also lacks paddle shifters. So maybe I'll switch to this. I no longer crave performance vehicles. I just want something to get me from A to B, or A to Z, in relative comfort. Usually these cars are too loud for me, but you just deal with it, because you're not going to get anything quieter until you either put some sound deadening wrap inside your car, or you spend $150,000 on a car. So naturally, all Crosstreks come standard with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive with X mode, as well as Subaru's brilliant EyeSight driver assistance systems that includes adaptive cruise control with lane centering, lane keeping assist that combats sway, and automated emergency braking. So this is just brilliant. I really like this car. I don't particularly like that color all that much, but I'll deal. Crosstrek's 2.5 liter boxer engine is adequate power for all situations, and its handling characteristics are equally sufficient. So yeah, $30,000 SUV. It says the squishy suspension that provides such a cushy ride around town lends itself to some sloppy body control when pushed a little too hard on a winding road, but this is a $30,000 SUV. You can do aftermarket suspension. Oh, they even mentioned that it sticks to the road just fine, but it doesn't feel particularly eager to hustle through turns, which is par for the course for this vehicle category, save for the sportier Mazda CX-30. So if this is in the same class as the CX-30, I guess stick with the Mazda CX-30. I don't know. Really depends on the beeps and whistles if they're directly compatible. I kind of I was sent a message bulldog. You mean like the aggressive front end of this, more like a bulldog? Yeah, I mean, I want it to be a little bit more aggressive. This is kind of soft, and I don't want that in an off-road-ish crossover. And Crosstrack to me has always spoken, I want to go out into like a little trail somewhere. I want to go into the woods and not sit there and, I don't know. This is more like I want to go and I don't know, get my hair done or something. I don't know. Anyway, that is it for today. It looks like it's a nice option, but when it's compared to the Mazda CX-30 in the very writing by somebody who's writing about this, and if all things are equal, you'll want the better handling of the Mazda CX-30 than this, if everything else is equal, right? So I'm not sure when. I thought I did an episode that included the CX-30. You'll have to go back, all of you, and look back 2,400 episodes. I don't know. It was a 2025 or 2026 Mazda that we talked about, Mazda CX something. Anyway, that's it. So we are going to go off-roading to bring us back in a straight line to the front page of FourWheelTech over at ohmTown.com. So go over there, become a citizen, and then come and hang out here on Twitch and on YouTube. If you want show notes, they're all over on YouTube because Twitch always deletes everything after 60 days, and there isn't anything in perpetuity. So that part sucks. But there's 2,400 episodes. All of them are relatively evergreen in the sense that the news is always there and it gets referenced from time to time because we stand on the shoulders of giants, as it were. So go back and watch all of the episodes, and that would be great. All right. Well, anyway, I'm out of here. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.